Good morning, Southeast. I hope you are doing well. This last Sunday, we started the Gospel of Luke, and what we recognized last Sunday is that the Gospel is for everyone. And that's one of the things about Luke's angle that I appreciate. I love Mark's Gospel. That's probably my favorite Gospel. Matthew is reflective of the fulfillment of the Old Testament, but Luke is a focus on people. Specifically, it's for outsiders who become insiders. It's for the poor, it's for the broken, it's for the lost, it's for those who are just desperate for God. And so what we're going to see over the next few weeks as we walk through this is we're going to see different encounters that Jesus has with people and how they were on the fringe of society, but then they found the gospel and they become when they respond to the gospel, some of them responded, some rejected it, but those that responded then not only found Christ, found forgiveness, but their eternity was changed. And so it's an amazing gospel. I hope you can join us for that. But there's a couple parts where we won't get into on Sunday mornings, and so I wanted to share one of those parts with you today, and that's the genealogy. Luke chapter 3 is the genealogy of Jesus. It's right. Luke puts it right after Jesus' baptism and right before he begins his ministry. And I know that when we get to names in the Bible, they're hard to pronounce, they're hard to understand. We don't know who a lot of these people are, but I want to draw your attention to a couple names in Luke's gospel. The first one is the son of David. So when we look at Jesus, we see that he is in the lineage of King David. King David was the second king of Israel after Saul. And this is particularly important because they recognized, the nation of Israel recognized that the Messiah would come through the line of David. And so Luke was showing that Jesus is in this line. He is supposed to be the Messiah. It matches, if you will. And there's one part in particular where God gives David this promise. And it's found in 2 Samuel chapter 7. And in this moment, the nation of Israel was at relative peace, and David was sitting in his temple, and he was looking out over the land, and he sees God in the tabernacle. And he's like, I'm in this beautiful temple, and yet here God is, Yahweh, in a tent. Like, I should build him a temple now that we're at peace and all this stuff. And God comes back to David, and he says, you really think that you can contain me in a temple? Like, yeah, my presence is in the tabernacle, but that doesn't contain me. But you think you can build me a house? And he kind of gives this play on words of, you think you can build me a house? I'm actually going to build you into a house. And the promise is given. It's this section of scripture, but I'll land on the last verse, 2 Samuel 7:16. And your house and your kingdom shall be made sure before me. Your throne shall be established forever. And so that's God given this messianic promise that the Messiah's kingdom will be established forever. And as we look through Scripture, we see that this kingdom is not just for the nation of Israel. The nation of Israel is too small. It's minute. It is not sufficient. That God's kingdom spreads. It goes beyond Israel. It is an everlasting kingdom that will never be shaken. It's not built on ethnicity, it's built on forgiveness. It's not built on keeping the law, it's built on Christ's righteousness. And so that's one of the names that we need to look for as we're going through the New Testament, and Luke puts that name in the genealogy. The second name is this. It's the son of Abraham. So Abraham was one of the patriarchs, and he was called out of the land of the Chaldeans, out of the land of Ur. And God says, go to a land that I will show you. And in Genesis 12, he gives Abraham the promise. And here's what he says to Abraham. Even though Abraham and Sarah, his wife, were advanced in years, he gives him this promise. He says, I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. So again, we get this promise all the way back in Genesis that the gospel is not just for a specific nation or a specific ethnicity. It is for everybody. Everybody is invited. The gospel is for everyone. And we see that promise even all the way back in Abraham. And so again, this is what Luke is trying to show. So with the first name, David, it's a kingdom that's an everlasting kingdom. It will not be shaken. With Abraham, it's this promise that through this promise, all the families will be blessed. And so Luke then, he actually takes his genealogy all the way back to Adam and to the Son of God. So that's what Luke is trying to show with his genealogy, is that even in the genealogy, this blessing, this gospel message is not just for the select few. It goes beyond Israel. It goes beyond borders. This kingdom is for everybody. The gospel message is for everybody. And so that's just something to think about. Again, we drew attention on Sunday to this. This is a bookmark. And the question is, if the gospel is for everybody, who are you praying for? That the strongholds would be broken in their life, that God would reveal himself to them, that they would surrender their lives to him, and they would let go of all their labels and all their different things, that all their hang-ups, all their baggage that we all carry with us, that we would let go of that and surrender our lives to his rule, his reign in our life, that we would become citizens of the kingdom. Who are you praying for that happens? And so we have these tools. This is just a bookmark on the back. You can put 10 names that you're praying for. If you haven't picked one up yet, you can find them at the information table or throughout the lobby on a Sunday morning. And would love to have you begin praying for those. We have people praying for those several different ways. There are some people I know pray for their 10 at 10. So they set an alarm on their watch. They also put them on mirrors, put them in their car, just as a reminder to keep these people in front of God as you're wrestling with your Christian walk, as you're becoming more dependent on him, that you're praying for these other people, that they would see Christ the way that you see Christ. Again, the gospel is for everybody. Couple things to keep on mind on your calendar. That looks like February 9th is a big day for us. One is that's the start of our membership class. So everybody is welcome at Southeast, but we do have a formal membership, and we teach this class every couple months, and it's a 3-week class. And the first one this year starts on February 9th. You can register online for that. It's at 9:15 in the morning, so there's childcare. You can grab bagels in the lobby, and it's just a great time. We go over our mission as our church, our core doctrine as a church, and what it means to be part of the church, if you will. And then also on the 9th, right after the service, we have our chili cook-off. And I'm just here to tell you that if you sign up for the traditional chili, you are signing up for second place, because I've already signed up, which means I'm probably going to win. Although last year I didn't, but I think that it was because it was rigged. But, I don't want to get into the history of that. Southeast, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and God bless.